Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode, I'm taking this opportunity to say thank you, listeners, because without you, we would not have hit 250,000 streams on Spotify for our show. You absolute legends. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in the virtual room filled with some lions. I've got Berth, I've got Chris. It's a trio. It's the original trio. And I need the moments of the weekend. I've got one lined up, but I want to know yours.
I want I say it's a good one. It's a pretty standard one. Played football
hype it
yesterday.
Up. Come on.
I played football yesterday. We won. We got a clean sheet, but I did get absolutely soaked. I don't think I've ever been so wet in all my life. The shirt was literally sticking to me. But yeah, it was a good win. And
I can't resist.
I don't know what noise that was. That just
it's because you said you were wet. I couldn't resist. The immaturity was there.
This is a high-end quality product, Mikey.
Is it fuck?
The TV channels want on their shows.
That's true. That is true. Channel 5 did approach us. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. Well, I'm not under NDA, so I can say it. They did say that. But it was like, can you be outside Stamford Bridge in the next hour? No. I don't even think I could be outside Birmingham City Football St Andrews in an hour. It's just, and that's closer. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
Chris, highlight moment.
Do you know what? My girls played really well Saturday morning. We played a cup game against a good team from the division above.
Oh,
we lost 5-3, but we probably our best performance of the season.
Oh, that's good.
So that was really good. The confidence that they showed against a really good team was really good. Outside of that, Mike, I had an absolute shit weekend. So everyone's ill in my house. So
yes,
that was the only highlight of my weekend. Chelsea didn't help much either.
Well, look, I'm gonna try and help out everyone because I'm gonna take you all to Denmark. Oh yes, because Horsens. To be precise, where Emil Fredriksson scored an absolutely world-class strike from the centre circle in the Danish First Division. The power on the ball was flawless. Just you get in your mind, because you've probably not seen it, but think Caicedo, except it does not go up and down. It's straight like an arrow in the top corner. And usually when these halfway line goals happen, the keeper's usually far out and it's loops. This, not the case. He just hit it with insane speed, and the accuracy was just off the charts. I had to put it in. I had to put it in, and a mini. Oh, I always burp after I have a coffee. Oh, anyway, and of course I have to shout out my Seattle Seahawks put it up 34 against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. It's a huge W. It's as big as the Hollywood sign W. I'm a bloody happy person, and because Chelsea women won as well, which was that we'll get onto that. Because what a game! What a game!
I tell you what, a good, really funny highlight that I just remember watching the weekend, and I hope you two have seen it.
Oh.
Did you two see David James going and goal at half time at Anfield yesterday?
The game's back.
Up against the little lad. He could have quite easily let the ball go in the net, but no, he didn't just save the ball once. He saved it twice and gave the fans some shit as well.
Yeah, David James is full professional. He doesn't let the easy ones in. Never.
Is the shithousery that I live for.
Oh, right. Before we dive into the news, we have a Shevva shout out because I promised them on Twitter that I would do this. And it's from Cypher the creator, who put my personal review here. You guys are my go-to Chelsea podcast. It's an intricate blend of technicality and goofiness from all the Lions, and I hope you guys keep it going as long as possible. Solid gem you guys have there. Best regards from Nigeria. Thank you. Genuinely. That it made my weekend when I read that, and I thought I had to go straight in the show because it was outstanding. So thank you. And you're listening, so even more, thank you. I've got to say.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Goofy though. I mean, who's
the start of the show pretty much summed that up. Look,
Who's he talking about?
right. News. It's because we screw the news. We get to head to Kingsmeadow Corner because Chelsea, they took on Spurs in another huge London derby. Millie Bright on the ball. Sends a cross in, and it's to Rytting. Kaneryd. Oh, what a goal! Oh, what a strike! That might be the goal of the season. It will certainly be in every compilation when we come to May. Oh, Chelsea 5, Spurs 2. Last weekend, London was blue. This weekend, it was again 2. Oh, I mean, I've got to start. I never, ever take control here of this Kingsmeadow Corner. But I have to, because if I didn't, I would be letting so many people down. Because, oh yes, Stat Drop Club, Johanna Rytting Kaneryd versus Spurs, 90 minutes played, 2 goals, 1 assist, 21 accurate passes, 1 big chance created, 53 touches, 11 touches inside the opposition box, 2 passes into the final third, 6 recoveries, 3 duels, 1 MVP. How good was she yesterday, team?
Some player.
Oh,
Some player. I mean, to be fair, what's good about this team is that each week someone else stands out. It's not just the same player each week, which is just crazy. And I think that shows how strong the depth is in the squad, and it shows how good of a manager Bon Pastore is, to be fair, because she's getting a tune out of everyone, not just one player. And I think that's such a testament to both sides, like both the team and the manager.
Yeah, I think that's definitely back-to-back stat drops, at least, because we had Hamano in the Champions League and now obviously Kaneryd. I mean, oh my bloody word. Look, I'm always going to hype up any Scandinavian player, but she was outstanding. I mean, Kaneryd is truly a player I just enjoy watching. I mean, she has everything. She has a signature move, the chop, the flair, that maverick ability, and the goal is Di Canio-esque. Oh my word. I mean, that is a goal that would rival anything, I think, in the Premier League this season. I mean, Chris, come on.
It's an unbelievable goal. It'll be a contender for goal of the season come May, definitely. Do you know what? I think she's still a little bit underrated. Like, people don't really... She doesn't get spoken about the way that she's been really good now for a really long time. Like, last season, she was really good. This season, she's gone up another level, I think. She's unplayable at times, and she's probably our most important attacker. When you look at her output in matches and the way that whenever we score a goal, she's normally involved somewhere in it. Both her finishes, I mean, the volley is unreal, but then, to be fair, a second finish and nothing to be knocked down either, like the scale, and then to see the gap and the power that she gets. Yeah, she is outstanding. As is the team. We've still got that problem defensively, although I think in this game, I do think we seemed a bit tighter in this game. I think it's an absolute farce that the linesman can say that ball was over the line when he's not even on the line.
It was such a goal. It was such a ghost goal that it rivaled the Luis Garcia ghost goal. And I know some people have said Hannah should do better. Yeah, I think that's okay. I can understand that argument, but it wasn't over the bloody line. It doesn't matter. It wasn't over the line.
No, it is very poor keeping, though. It is very poor.
Yeah, but it wasn't over the line.
No,
the way they made it out on commentary, like she'd made, it's an awful error. No, it's not. Oh, it's a great goal, but neither of those are true.
No, she made a mistake that she did actually rectify her own mistake, but it was a bad mistake in the first place. But I just don't understand, as a linesman, how you can be not dead on the goal line, but be 100% certain that ball's gone in. It makes no sense. Like, you watch the replay, he's still not in line with the goal when she's already pushed it back out. So I don't understand. It's a big call, that, and it was the wrong call, but it was a stupid call to make. I think she should do better on the free kick as well, to be honest. She took a step. She sort of guessed, didn't she? Took a step to her left and then couldn't get back to her right quickly enough. So I think the goals we conceded, one wasn't a goal and the second one was probably a goalkeeping mistake. But But aside from that, I thought actually probably the best we've looked as a complete outfit all season, as like a complete performance. I thought we looked good defensively. I thought our pressing was really good. We kept them pinned in for most of the second half, negating those sort of transitional moments that have been causing us a problem. Scored some really good goals. Just a really good game.
Yeah. I've actually, I'll touch on that. The first half wasn't the best, and the ghost goal, we've just thought about that. I mean, look, no way was it over the line. And I don't think that's not the argument I want to make. I think my argument is how on earth can one of the best leagues in the women's game not have basic goal line tech? I can understand not having VAR. I get that because there's a lot of costs there. I've seen it with the Champions League. That's why Kingsmeadow is not our ground for the Champions League. I get that. I totally get that. However, I looked into this. I spent it's around 100,000 to get it installed. And it just clears up basic errors of judgment. And it's simply a must at this level of the game. Even Bompastor literally was like in the post game was like, this has to be implemented. It does. We keep saying this is a growing side of football. The women's game is growing, and it is. And it deserves that. It deserves goal line tech. End of.
I think I absolutely agree. I think the issue comes not from the WSL, but from the Women's Championship. You get because the sides in the Women's Championship who aren't massively financially backed.
That is
so
if
they get promoted, they wouldn't have the resources and funds to install goal line technology, and you can't have one club in the league who don't have it. So I think that's probably why it hasn't been pushed forward. I think you'd need to get to a point where all of the Women's Championship clubs was funded well enough to be able to afford it if they got promoted.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. And at the end of the day, just because Chelsea have got the money, likes of Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, they're going to have that money. Those other smaller clubs are not going to, and that is a very, it's kind of £100,000 to us is not a lot for Chelsea, yet to a club like I'm thinking Bristol City, that could be the difference between them being able to pay their staff and not. So that's a completely very fair point. So you'd look at maybe WSL, you get a lot of money from television deal, maybe self-funded. Who knows? I
don't know why it can't be funded by the league itself with the amount of money that the league must be pulling in now through TV deals and sponsorship deals. I don't know why the league couldn't just fund it for all the clubs. If the clubs can't afford it themselves, I think it should be funded by the league.
Yeah, I'm backing you on that. I promised Chris B on Discord I'd drop this in, and it is actually the perfect Oscar overreaction.
Overreaction, you think?
WSL Player of the Season will be Johanna Rytting Kaneryd, and I'm going to go with that's a good point because I've got some backup for Chris. He didn't bring any, but he didn't need to. I've done it for you. It's all good. She has the most goal contributions in the WSL, only behind Lauren Hemp for the highest overall game rating so far. Hemp's only 0.06 points ahead, just so I want to add. And she's joint top scorer of the WSL. I think and she was free. She didn't cost us anything.
I think she's got a great shout. The only thing that will stop her winning that is if we don't win the league.
Yeah. I don't think, has there ever been a case where we haven't had the MVP, whichever, hasn't been from the winning team?
I doubt it.
I'm sure there has in the men's game. I don't know about the women's though.
I mean, that goal is a Puskas contender. Because
it's a great goal.
People go, it's a volley, but you've jumped in the air and then hit the ball. I can't do that, and there's no ball in the air.
And it's side foot.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's not laces. It's side foot. It's controlled.
My word.
Berth will tell you, me and him play a lot of football. Technically, that's really difficult to do.
Oh yeah,
yeah. A side foot volley when you're in the air is a ridiculous skill.
Yeah.
A side foot volley when your feet are planted is ridiculous. When you're in the air, it's even harder. Technique. It's ridiculous. It really is outstanding. That
I was so excited to talk about this game because of that goal, because it was just so bloody good. And 5-2. I believe we're going to an international break now, and devastating. Obviously, Lauren James pulled up in the warm up. She's not reporting to England duty. No more news on that. So, yeah, I mean, we need her for the the future. You know, we need her for these
Yeah.
big games coming ahead. So, yeah. But hey, look at it this way. We questioned Sonia. We said the big games are coming up now. Well, so far, 3 for 3. You know, went in the Champions League, won. Took on Arsenal, won. Took on Spurs, won. So she's doing pretty well. I mean,
what I really like about her as well, so to interrupt, is just that she's just ice cold. Her mannerisms are totally different to Emma Hayes, and I think I really like that. I really like how she just is ice cold, and that shows that she won't let anything get to her, which I really like. And yes, obviously she's passionate inside, but she's got a lot of control over herself, and I think that's very, very good on the sidelines.
I've actually missed out a game there. Obviously, the Man United game was postponed. We beat Real Madrid, beat Arsenal, beat FC Twente, beat Spurs. I mean, flawless. Come on. And now when we return from the international break, we have Everton, Liverpool, Celtic, and then obviously the big game, City.
It's do you know what? I don't even think we're anywhere near 100% yet either.
I'm thinking that. It's just crazy. 5-2 against Spurs, and we're like, you know what? We can do better. I love it. It's so great. Oh, right. From the women's team, who really shone the light for Chelsea this weekend, we head to the men's. It's winners and losers as Chelsea headed out onto that road to take on Liverpool. Jadon Sancho stopped by Gravenberch. It's scooped away by Mo Salah, and Tosin on halfway has become entangled with Diogo Jota there, and it'll be a yellow card. Yeah, Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1. My best Gary Neville impression for you. How many have we got? Kick off with the winners as always. Who have you got? How many have you got?
I've got 3 and 3.
I've got 3 and 3.
Yeah, pretty much the same here. Pretty much.
I'll be amazed, by the way, if we haven't all got the same 3 winners. I think there's only one player who's not on mine who could get on this list.
Okay. I mean, I've gone a bit weird with mine, so. Goofy, that's me.
I think 2 of mine will be on Chris's. I think the other one probably
might be different.
Yeah.
Right. So first, I'll go with my first one because I've got Maresca's Chelsea. Now, we lost the game. There's no denying that. I've seen the score. We lost 2-1. But I need to be a bit real for a second. The last time we rocked up at Anfield, we got smacked 4-1. We were outclassed in the defence, in the offence, and probably in the coin toss as well. But this time, it felt a different story. I mean, we showed up. That was a positive. I felt Maresca did get the starting 11 right. And even without Fofana and Cucurella, we still went toe-to-toe with them. I mean, if the ref had, put his glasses on, who knows? We might have walked away with the win. It's progress. And Frank Leboeuf praised us. He praised us. I mean, that never happens. I mean, that's progress. I think that
I'll be honest with you. I absolutely hate the comparing games from 2 different seasons.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I've just done that.
Mikey, what I will tell you is I do kind of agree with Chris. You shouldn't compare to previous seasons, but what I will say is I actually thought we were good yesterday.
I thought we were quite good.
I do think that's one of the better performances we've had at Anfield recently in the past 3 or 4 years. And I think Maresca did get a lot right yesterday. I'm not saying he got everything right, but I thought it was a good performance. And yes, we lost, but I think it was a bit hard done. But I think a draw would have been fair yesterday.
I didn't come away from it feeling like I was annoyed, but I wasn't. That was awful. Everyone, it was nothing like before.
Yeah.
I was quite chuffed with how we put in a show. Right, Chris, who's a winner? Come on.
Nicholas Jackson.
He's on mine.
He's not on mine because I picked Maresca's Chelsea.
Took his goal really well.
Kept on side.
I actually thought he had a really good game overall. I thought he was our best attacker on the day. Thought everything he did was positive and came off. I thought he was a bit unlucky with the shot that hit the outside of the post as well.
Yeah.
From that angle to engineer a chance that clipped the outside of the post, I think was good. And then, everyone likes to have a go at him about his finishing, but he had one real chance in the game and took it in a big game. So I don't think anyone could moan at him yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, again, most underrated striker in the Premier League, easily.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And the fact that I was so happy because he scored a goal that he would have not scored last season because it would have been ruled back for VAR for offside. And he stayed onside, and I was like, "Good on you, mate." I was so happy for him. I was like, "You're learning.
You know what?
You're learning."
He's got 8 goals and assists in 8 games, and all before this game, all you're seeing when people do their combined 11s is I'd still take Jota over him.
I would not.
Yeah. Okay.
No way.
I just don't. I don't understand what more he's got to do to get some respect.
I just don't think it'll happen. And that's such
No,
a
I don't
shame.
think it will either.
I don't think he
He's going to
cares.
be one of them.
I don't think
No,
he cares.
he doesn't give a
He's
fuck,
got
mate.
us lot. Well, not just us as the pod. I mean, like the Chelsea fan base backing him.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Right. Okay. That was all. We've all got one winner there. I've got the return of Reece James, because you cannot tell me that didn't boost us all, boost the team, boost Reece himself, and to not simply be back in the squad, but to start. And he was good. You know,
He was good.
I will take Reece for 60 minutes each game this season in the league than 90 minutes 3 times a season. Simple as that.
What was at fault for the second goal, though?
Yeah, it was poor.
He's coming back from injury.
Yeah, but it's coming back from injury. But that is...
Yeah, it's lazy.
It's lazy from Reece James. I think we'll get onto a loser in a bit, but I think it's
yeah,
also awewhul from another player on the pitch as well. But Reece James is definitely at fault as well.
Yeah,
Reece James was definitely at fault for it as well, though. I think.
Yeah, 100%.
He wasn't the glaring mistake, but I think if he doesn't defend so lazily, it might not get to that point.
He was good overall. I actually thought he was.
Yeah, overall
he
was good though,
yeah. Right, Berth. Who's your second winner?
My second one is real toss-up, this was, to be honest, because I thought they both played really well. But I'm going to give it to Lavia because I think Caicedo has had a lot of winners this year. So I'm going to give it to Lavia. And he's played 2 games now, Man City and Liverpool. And I think you could argue he was the best player on the pitch for us both times. I thought he was fantastic. On the ball, he's really good. I think he's a better option than Enzo. I might get hate for that, but I just think he is.
Why for telling the truth?
But I think he's a good mix of both Caicedo and Enzo. He can break up play. He gets up and down the pitch. His passing's immaculate. His dribbling's fantastic. There was sometimes I thought, he's not going to get out of this. And he just weaves past 2 players and he puts us on the counter. I think Gary Neville saw it and he was saying how good he was. And I think, like Reece James, if we can keep him fit for 60 minutes a game, I think we've got a real player on our hands.
That literally what I tweeted out yesterday. It's still bizarre that it's only his second Premier League start since his £58 million move last summer in 23. I mean, that is just, how the hell?
But that shows how good he is of a player.
He was winning duels, keeping that ball. I mean, he was brilliant. I love him. And again, injuries aside, hopefully we're seeing a good pattern of play. Again, if we get him 1 game a week, like Maresca said, same with James, brilliant. I'll take that. I mean, it's better than having them for maybe every other month for 2 games and they get... No, sometimes players are injury prone. That's part of it. You have to manage them. That's what a good manager does. So fingers crossed, that's what happens. Chris, second winner for you.
I've got his partner, Caicedo.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to have him, but...
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think it was a toss-up between the 2. I think that both of them actually worked quite well together.
Yeah.
I think Caicedo, though, done everything you would want from him. Broke up the play. Passing was really good. Great through ball to set up the goal. Got around the pitch. Stopped Liverpool. Stopped a few counter-attacks that could have been more dangerous than they were. I thought it was a real step up from where Caicedo has been over the past few weeks. I thought this was him getting back to the sort of levels we've seen at the back end of last season.
Yeah. I mean, why did I have him? I mean, funny because I actually focused on my Lion pick as the player I'd just like to keep a close eye on this game. And he was majestic on that ball. I mean, when he has that little bit of freedom, he kind of glides. And I did feel the pivot with Lavia worked wonders. And that is our pivot. That is the pivot. The Enzo Caicedo experiment is over. It doesn't work. I don't need to hear about it anymore. And I don't need to see the absolute nonsense on Twitter when you say anything negative about Enzo Fernandez. I don't care. I love this pivot. It works. It just can't happen twice a week. That's what we know. That's the thing. I mean, when he picks the ball up, and I noticed that I can't remember the midfielder he took on against Liverpool. He just sort of breezed past him with the ball. It's like, how does he do that? It's so effortless. It's amazing. I'm enjoying, like I said, this is the difference between this season and last. I'm enjoying watching us, and I'm enjoying these little bits of play. I'm like, oh, look at that, it's brilliant. Oh, I remember why I love doing this sport. I love it. That's the thing. I mean, Berth, other than what we've just said, unless you want to go straight to your third winner, Caicedo.
I mean, yeah, Kingsmeadow was fantastic. Like I said, it was a toss between him and Lavia. I think he's our most important midfielder. I think that through ball for Jackson, that's not the first time he's done that either this year. And I think his passing, he gets a lot of stick for his passing, but it's actually very, very underrated. And I think his through balls are getting better and better. And look, we give Enzo stick, but it's just a fact now that he just plays better without him. And Chris said it a couple of weeks ago, I think, but Enzo could play better without him. I don't know. But Lavia and Caicedo just seem to work best. And we didn't get put through in midfield like we normally do. I think that's just because we had two engines in there that could both run up and down. So, yeah, it was a good performance from him. I can't knock him.
Yeah, 100%. Who's your third winner? Final winner?
My third winner, and Chris will not agree with this, because he's giving him some stick in the group chat. I'm going to give it to Pedro Neto.
Fuck off.
I thought he came on and played really well. I think a lot of Chelsea fans thought that as well.
Yeah, everything except the important things.
Yeah, but what you understand is he's actually not played much this season for us. He didn't really play that much last year for Wolves. He's still getting back into it. There were signs there. He gave Liverpool a real problem. That pace was very good.
I'm with Bert. I'm sorry. I thought he was like a bright spot when he came on.
He was. Yeah. He was. And look, I'm not saying
he was until the final third.
His end product, I'm not saying it was amazing, but I don't think I watched it and went, fuck me, his end product's been terrible today. I don't think it was amazing, but I wouldn't say it was awful. I'm not Do you know what he's rusty. He's very rusty at the moment, I think.
He had some really good runs on the wings that did cause Liverpool problems. But then he just passed it sideways or backwards. He didn't hurt them at any point. The one time he did, he had an absolutely woeful shot that trickled wide. That was it. A lot of the times he penetrated them and then turned back and just rolled it backwards to somebody. He didn't look like he wanted to hurt them.
But what I will say to that,
was frustrating.
I get that. I do get that. But also, I think, and you mentioned it yesterday as well, he didn't have that many players in the box, which was annoying.
I'll come on to that later.
And that was probably another reason why his end product didn't look as cutting edge as it should be, because there's no one in the box really other than Jackson. I mean, Palmer weren't getting in there, Caicedo weren't getting in there, Madueke weren't getting in there. So it was one of them where there's not really much he could have done really other than pass it back. So I thought he was a real bright spark for us when he came on. I think Sancho has looked good, and I thought Sancho was all right yesterday. But that pace is it's hard to defend against. It really is.
I thought you said somebody else's name. God.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
We'll be bringing him up in a minute.
Right. Of course, there's losers, and everyone's ready to see.
Hold on, I've got.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Who's your?
It's Robert Sanchez. It's Robert Sanchez.
Go on, Chris. Who is it?
No, to be fair, I thought Berth was going to have Bernardo Rega.
Yeah, he was good.
I thought he was really good when he came on.
Yeah,
but I didn't pick him because I assumed Berth was going to have him, and it was a toss up between him and the person I have picked, Benoit Badiashile.
I tell you what, that was one of his better games.
Yeah, I looked more like the Badiashile we seen, when he was good before he forgot what being a footballer was like. Came on. I thought I really liked the little battle he got into with Darwin Núñez. Had energy, was on the front foot, was nicking balls, thought his passing was really good. Covered a lot in the defence as well with those balls in behind that was causing us problems before he came on. I thought actually as a sort of cameo appearance, I don't think it could have gone any better for him.
And to be fair, and you got to give Maresco credit here, I actually thought all the subs came on and played really well.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
most of them.
Yeah,
bingo card, listeners. Right, losers. I'm going to kick mine off with inconsistency, and the loser award that I want to present, it's to the Premier League officials, because the one consistency this weekend was their inconsistency. So well done. On Saturday we saw Saliba shown a straight red, and yet in this game we saw Tosin get booked for a similar foul. Sancho was pulled down, no penalty, but when it was a foul on Jones, it was a penalty. Now I've got a clip queued up from Ref Watch on Sky Sports. So this is an interesting listen.
Shall we? Chelsea having a penalty claim. Trent Alexander-Arnold on Jadon Sancho here. Why wasn't this a penalty, Dan?
I didn't think it was a foul. I just didn't think it was a foul. I think both.
Have a look. He takes him out, don't they?
Both players are tangled. I would be very, very surprised if that was given the penalty.
Wow.
Mikey, pause that clip now before I punch something, because
Hang on.
I can't.
He takes his foot away.
I still don't think it's a penalty, Rob. You haven't.
Oh my God.
Penalty, yeah, he does. He connects. You can see Trent Alexander-Arnold connects with Sancho's foot as he's trying to plant him, come back inside. It's probably one of those that if it's given, it's not overturned, and vice versa. But yeah, I thought if I was just looking at that incident, I think it's a penalty.
Because it was a bloody penalty. I mean, let's be honest. Dermot has never disagreed with a referee's decision in his life.
That is a horrendous decision. That is a horrendous take, by the way.
This is what really fucking pisses me off about refs these days. They all stick together. They can't say, "Oh, he's wrong," because it makes them look bad. It's a blatant penalty. The Colwell one is a blatant penalty. Saliba's one was a red card. Tosin's one was a red card. They just can't deal with saying their mates are wrong, and it pisses me off.
It was a penalty. He clears him out. Look, it's irrelevant when people go, "Oh, Mike's talking NFL. He cares about it's soft." It doesn't matter what I think. It's a penalty. It annoys me that it's a penalty. I probably wouldn't have given Kudus a red card for what he did. I don't know. That's standard players fine. Carry on. But it was a penalty. And when you see a penalty given the other end, you just think, "What's the fucking point?"
Someone made a really interesting point about referees after this game. After this weekend, really. And I actually think it might be the best point I've heard about referees in a while.
Okay. Yeah, shit.
Yeah. But have you noticed now that we talk about referees more than probably ever before?
100%.
And it's because they're celebrities now.
Oh,
they're going on podcasts.
It's all on them, isn't it?
Sky have an ex-referee on. BT have an ex-referee on. ESPN have an ex-referee on. They're doing things like that shit you've just done there. Ref Watch. Why are referees being? They should be someone who you don't know. You should barely know their name. They should go through the game. The idea of a referee is to go through the game and not be noticed. That should be the standard of refereeing that you're looking for. Get through the game without being noticed. Don't make any headlines and go home. But now they want to be in the spotlight. They want it because they know that when they give up refereeing, they can go on Strictly Come Dancing, or they'll get a job on Sky Sports. And that's the problem with refereeing now. They are doing things purposely to make a name for themselves.
If it wasn't for referees, though, we wouldn't get that beautiful show mic'd up with Howard Webb and Michael Owen that sends me to sleep when I'm struggling to get have a good nap. It's brilliant.
You really know what they should do? That they should honestly, at the end of every game, the only thing that refs should say, there should be no Howard Webb or no Mike Dean or no Dermot Gallagher, whoever on these shows. It should be the refs that's officiated should come out and say, this is why it weren't a penalty, or this is why it was a red card. And then, it'd still piss me off. But at the end of the day, that they've held accountability for themselves and they've come out and said it. I'm not listening to their mates say, oh, no, he was right. Fuck off. Get a grip.
Or have it like, when you see on those like company vehicles, how was my driving? Just have a phone number. How was my officiating today? Right. We'll move to, we'll go to Chris's first loser.
No surprise, Robert Sanchez.
What? Not his best game.
Honestly, it's not very often you agree with Jamie Carragher, but he was absolutely right. We're going nowhere with him in goal. If we want to get back to anywhere near the top, you're not going to do it with Robert Sanchez in goal.
Yeah, he hit that tiny iceberg, didn't he?
Passing, absolutely horrendous. I mean, he nearly gave a goal away really early in the game when he kicked it against Gakpo for no reason at all. Yeah. I don't even know what pass he was trying to play. Like, the only place he couldn't pass the ball was where he tried to pass it and got away with that one. to be honest, the penalty that he did give away isn't a penalty, but he is also lucky that it isn't a penalty because it's terrible goalkeeping again. And then a second goal, well, I don't know how you can manage to be that big and come out and look so small.
Yeah,
it's actually an
100%.
art form.
He's a pencil.
He manages to come out and make himself smaller. Do you know what? I rewatched that goal a few times, and I don't even think the ball should get to Curtis Jones. I think Robert Sanchez should get the ball before Jones does. If he's actually off his line and proactive and actually reads the game and understands what's going on, he spots that pass earlier, can start 2 yards higher, and he gets to the ball before Curtis Jones does. But he's not a top-level goalkeeper. He's shit. He'll have good games like he has done this season, and we've given him credit for those games. But these games just highlight the fact that he's not a top-class keeper, and you are not going to be good without a top-class keeper. You know, you look at Villa, for example. The reason why they're getting you take Martinez out of their team, and you make them put Robert Olsen in, who's their backup keeper. They're nowhere near the top four.
They dropped.
Nowhere near. That's the difference a goalkeeper makes. It's 10 to 12 points a season.
Oh yeah, 100%. You are right on that. The VAR one. Where look, he got the ball, and where was he meant to go? It's what. How did that have to go to the monitor? Where's he going?
It's not a penalty, but it's a risky challenge. I mean, I don't know why he's coming out with his feet instead of his hands.
He's probably not a goalkeeper. Right, but Berth, who's your first loser?
Well, Robert Sanchez, my first loser, to be fair.
Okay.
Again, I don't even need to say why. That penalty that was overturned, what the fuck was he doing? What was he actually doing?
I don't know.
I don't know what. No, in the end, it's actually a good tackle, but it's so clumsy, and sometimes his logic. And don't get me wrong, this season he's made some really good saves in some games, but his decision making is absolutely appalling at times. And for someone who's so big, he never makes himself big. He just sort of narrows himself up. Like, I use the analogy that he was like a pencil, but I never see him spread himself. And as a keeper, I mean, I'm not a goalkeeper, but surely you have to make yourself big at times. And he's what, 6'4", 6'5"? He's a big guy, and he just doesn't make himself big. And that is, Martinez is a perfect example because he's probably about the same size. He's a man mountain in goal. He comes out, spreads himself, bang. Penalties, never doubt him. I always doubt Sanchez. And I do feel bad for him, to be fair, because he does get a lot of stick when he does make some good saves, but he makes so many mistakes. He can't get anywhere with him. I'd rather Kepa in goal.
And you know what it is as well? Like, I think the difference between having a top-class keeper and then someone who isn't is even things like the first penalty. Let's face it, there wasn't a single Chelsea fan alive who thought Sanchez might save this.
No, it's a good penalty. As soon as the penalty,
yeah, it is. But as soon as the penalty was given, you thought, "Oh, well, we're 1-0 down then." Whereas I think if you've got a Petr Cech in goal and Emi Martinez, like Berth just said, you have that little bit of feeling that actually he could save this, but you don't get that with Robert Sanchez. You just think, well, we're 1-0 down then, because there's absolutely no chance he's saving this, and then he dived the wrong way. So
yeah. That too.
Point proven.
Yeah. Right. Very rare my second loser makes this list. It's Cole Palmer.
Yeah, he's on mine.
He's on mine as well.
He's on mine.
The fact that this might be his first time ever for me, you, all of us, it's incredible that he's done that. But he was like a brand new phone with no signal. He looked good, but there was no connection to the game. And it was a rare time that this happened. And it's a shame because we always look to him to, make a moment. It just wasn't his game. Was he completely marked out of the game by the Liverpool defence? Possible. Was it just not his day? Also possible. Just overall, not his best. Moving on to the next one, really. I mean, you can elaborate with why you picked him.
I mean, the thing is with Palmer, I mean, look, you can't knock him, really. That's the thing. Like, I'll allow him to be on a losers list this week because, he's our best player by a mile. He just couldn't get into the game. I think he looked a bit leggy, a bit tired at times. There's still glimpses where he looked pretty sharp, a few nice touches here and there, but just couldn't get into it. And probably a testament to Liverpool as well, that just sort of I mean, Gravenberch, who's up against, who's just been one of their best players this season. Yeah, it was just an off day for him, and I don't think he'll be on the loser list much this season. But yeah, he weren't at the races, was
he? No.
I think this is the reason why I think he played on the right-hand side last season. I think when you play central like he did as a number 10, you're actually quite easy to crowd out of the game against good teams with good players and a good tactical setup. It's quite easy to get to crowd an area where they operate. When he's out wide, he's a lot harder to mark when he drifts into those half spaces, because it's a question then of who's picking him up. Is it a midfielder? Is it the fullback? What are we doing? It's a lot more difficult to crowd him out of those spaces when he starts out wide. And I think that's why he was more effective last season in those wide areas. And it might be something that Maresca needs to look at for the bigger games.
Yeah,
playing him on the wide area where he's going to have more space. I think it boiled down to the fact though, where I think Slot came up with a game plan to stop our best player, and we didn't come up with one to stop theirs.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point.
Because Mo Salah had an absolute field day on the right hand side. He was left 1-on-1 the entire game, and I thought, what are we doing here? We've looked at their best player and gone, no, we can leave him 1v1 all day. That'll be fine. Not a problem.
Yeah.
And I just think for Palmer, I think when you've got a player as good as him and he's not getting on the ball like that for that long, I think that should have been changed at half time. I think we should have tried to find a way to get him on the ball, because the only time he got on the ball, I think, was about 80 minutes when he dropped in between the centre backs to get on the ball. And I thought, well, he's not hurting Liverpool there. That's where they want him to go. I just think didn't seem overly sharp in his mind in this game. But I also don't think the setup helped him. I think Liverpool did a job on him.
Yes.
And we didn't find a way to get him involved.
Yeah. Right. Your final loser, Berth, who is it?
My final loser is Levi Colwell.
Yeah, I thought he was shit too.
As much as Sanchez was at fault for a couple of goals, I thought Colwell was really sloppy, and he never quite looked comfortable on the ball. Was out of position a few times. Don't think him and Tosin worked well against Liverpool.
Thought Tosin was crap as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think it worked. Yeah, I mean, he didn't help.
Looked like a lost puppy, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good place to go in the first 5 minutes. You borderline should have got a red card. So, I mean,
yeah.
Colwell, though, I've got high standards for him now. Same as Palmer, I suppose. He won't be on my losers list all that season, but yeah, just didn't look himself. I thought positionally he was terrible, on the ball terrible. Don't think he was as good an aerial presence as he usually is. Yeah, just weren't defensively. I don't think anyone played great other than Reece James at the back. So I think Colwell has to be a loser for me this week.
Chris, who's your final one?
I've got attitude.
Oh, so whoever said on the Discord it'd be Enzo Fernandez, you were wrong.
No, I mean, let's face it. We all know he's crap.
He didn't do anything. He didn't play. He didn't do anything.
I don't think he played long enough to make the losers list. He was crap when he came on. He did nothing, but I don't think that makes him a loser. He weren't on long enough. Yeah, I think the attitude, it's really weird because I think it was last week I actually praised the attitude in this squad in terms of they don't know when they're beat. But I think we still have a massive problem where it seems like we have an inferiority complex. We've played 2 really good teams this season, Man City and Liverpool. And it seemed in both games like we was happy to lose, but not get battered. 2-0 against City. We did nothing to try and get back into the game. We just wanted to have the ball so they couldn't score again. And this game was exactly the same. 2-1 down. 10 seconds left. Ball delivered from the left-hand side. 1 person in the box. Everyone else in a defensive position because we don't want to get counter-attacked against. There's 10 seconds left. You might as well all go. I wouldn't have cared if Sanchez had gone up at that point because there's no difference between losing 2-1 and losing 3-1. But I just thought the last sort of 15 minutes, it's like we just accepted. We'll get a goal back if we can find one from somewhere. But ultimately, we're quite happy to lose this 2-1. And I think that is a big thing we've got to get over, because you can't be at a club like Chelsea and accept going to Anfield and losing by a goal as long as you play well, because we've got to go there and beat them at some point. If we want to get in the top 4, you're going to have to go and beat a good team at some point. You can't just keep going, well, we played well against City, but we lost. So we played well against Arsenal, we lost. Played well against Liverpool, we lost. Oh, and Man United, but we lost. And Villa, but we lost. You can't just keep doing that. You can't keep going, well, we're playing well, but we're losing. But it's all right, because we'll beat Brentford next week. We've got to get to a point where these are games that like the players are going into believing they can win. And I don't see that at the minute.
The thing is, as well, yesterday, the game was there. Like, we weren't level-wise. I don't think it was that much worse than Liverpool, to be honest with you. I thought the game
to be
was
fair,
really
I thought Liverpool was shit as well. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they played well either.
Yeah, I generally don't think there's that much difference between the two teams. I think Chris is right in a sense that I don't know what... It was almost naive that, we don't want to lose. You don't want to get embarrassed here.
Yeah.
We could have easily gone and got a draw or something out of that game. I mean, to score and then concede 76 seconds later that's unforgivable, really. And then to like...
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
no,
but just to then in the last 10 minutes not really show anything. It's almost like, well, what can we do? We almost like ran out of ideas and thought, we'll just hope that we don't concede.
Because I always look back to, if you want to do comparisons to last season, like everyone seems to have loved doing about the last time we went to Anfield, you look at the City game at home. We went 4-3 down in like the 89th minute and didn't lose the game against Man City. We were 3-2 down.
Man U as well.
Yeah, we were 3-2 down against Man United in injury time and won the game. Because the players had that belief, and you looked at us and you thought, last 10 minutes, we was throwing everything at it, pinning them in, balls into the box, creating chances, having shots, winning corners. We did none of that in this game, and we didn't do any of it against Man City in the opening game either. We just let the game peter out to the defeat that it was and moved on. And that, I think that's the biggest step back we've took from last season to this season. For all the progress we've made, and I do agree with people, I do think we have made progress from last season in a lot of aspects, but I think we've took a step back in that attitude around big games. I think we've gone back to, we shouldn't be winning these games, so it's okay to lose.
But what I will say is that I don't think it's this big meltdown that everyone is going on about on Twitter. Like, yeah, we lost, but it's Anfield. They're a good team. They're playing well. I don't think we should be going, this player shit, that player shit, this and that, other than Robert Sanchez.
Exactly.
But, you got to take it with a pinch of salt as well. It is, you've only lost 2-1 to Liverpool at Anfield. It's not like the end of the world, really.
It was only pre-season, so it's fine.
Well, yeah.
Right. Final loser is just me having to listen to Peter Drury, because I lasted 20 minutes this time, which, you know what? I'd usually brag about lasting that long, but my finger hit the mute button. I can't handle Drury and Gary Neville on commentary anymore. One turns every shot into a poem, and the other one just goes, like a cheap Halloween decoration. It's so annoying.
You are right about Peter Drury, because I actually did like him as a commentator.
100%.
But he has gone too far now with the whole trying to turn everything into some sort of sonnet. It's like, mate, he's had a shot that's gone 20 yards over the bar. I don't think we don't need a poem right now, thank you.
No.
It was okay at the end of a game. Yeah. That was fine. But you are right. He does it too often now during the game.
It was every Salah shot. It was, Salah. No, stop. You're ready for one. That's not how it works. He was good with the Greek god in Rome, the Manolas, obviously the Barcelona. It's natural. Don't force it. Anyway, he gets paid more than we do. So emojis. I'm going with just the sideways smile facey thing that goes, because, we didn't win. But,
difficult one for emojis this week.
I'm going to go...
Go on, Chris.
I'm going to go with the thinking emoji, because I didn't really know what to think of the performance. It was a bit of a confusing performance, I thought.
Yeah, I think I'll go for the smiling emoji with a little teardrop coming down the eye, because it was an okay performance, but also we lost, and it was a terrible decision from the ref.
Yeah. Right. Lion of the week. What do we have? Well, bloody hell, Chris, you had Colwill.
Yeah, awful.
I had Caicedo. Ollie had Vega. The wheel had Gusto.
Good.
I'm claiming this.
Yeah, Caicedo wins.
Yeah.
Who was the actual lion? Like, who would you actually say was? Was it
Probably
Caicedo?
Caicedo or Jackson. Caicedo or Jackson, I think.
We've got to all unanimously agree. I'm happy to go with what you two think.
I probably would go Caicedo, to be fair.
Yeah, we'll go Caicedo then. We'll go
Caicedo gets his second of the year, second of the season. Good for you. Right, so midweek picks. We take on Panathinaikos in Greece. Oh, you know what? If it was, I was tempted to pick Nkunku, but he did nothing.
We're going to pick from
against
the B
Liverpool.
team.
He did nothing against it. I could also go Mudryk if I'm feeling crazy. I just don't know how it's going to be because Greece is not it's not a hard place. It's not an easy place to go or to say. It's I don't know.
It is a tough one, isn't it?
Who did I pick in the Ghent game? Nkunku. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go early here. I'm gonna pick Vega.
Okay.
Yeah, Vega's a good shout.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for. You know what? I want to go Rogue. I want to go Dewsbury Hall.
Fucking hell!
Yeah.
That is Rogue.
Come on, Kieran. Do me good here. Do me good.
You know what? I was going to go Nkunku, but when I was driving to the gym today, my brain said, pick Pedro Neto.
Oh, I should have gone Pedro now, actually.
I'm going to go Pedro Neto. I'm going to trust my brain in the way to the gym. I think this could go well. So the wheel, who's the wheel picking? Probably Nkunku. Oh, don't pick Reece James because he's not allowed. Oh. Nkunku.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh, the wheel. Oh, the wheel might have pulled it out. Oh, well, at least we all got a different one. So that's a good. I'm happy I got Neto. So we'll move to Quaresma's questions. And I'm going to just pull the app up straight up. I've got Alexander. Was it too much of a risk bringing Reece back to start this match?
Bit of a risk, but I thought he managed it quite well. I think he managed Lavia and Reece James very well. And I think giving them only 60 minutes was good. And they haven't rushed either of them back this season, especially Reece James. They haven't put him into games where he should have probably been rested. So I don't mind it. And they seemingly have come off like they're not injured. So yeah, I like it.
I think it would have been more of a risk if Luis Diaz was playing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
I think we was let off the hook a little bit by the fact that he didn't play because of the travelling with internationals. So I do think it was a risk because I think if someone like Diaz had started, I do think it would have been more of a test for James. But like Berth said, I mean, he looks like he's come through it unscathed. So
exactly.
You can only look at the result, can't you? And he played well and came off after 60 minutes, not injured. So
yeah. Molly asked about our thoughts on the Trent on Sancho, no pen call. Obviously, we got into that very passionately. And you know what? Riley Gill, Mudryk, Neto, or Felix? Who's starting first? Neto.
It's Neto. It's Neto. There's no question about that. It's Neto.
Right. This is what I think. Jake's got one. This is for Chris. But it's will Caicedo finish the season with more assists than Enzo? Just so you know, Caicedo's got 2 and Enzo has none.
Yes.
He's already won.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Enzo Fernandez, what is his assist stats like since he's been with us? You know, he probably isn't anywhere near double figures yet.
It bothered me when I overheard. I was listening to the podcast. I don't know why I said that. While I was listening on a pod, and they said that Enzo's nearly been at the club for 2 years, and I was like, "Oh my word!"
Well,
yeah,
he hasn't. This isn't a bash. He just hasn't. Apart from that free kick, I can't think of anything positive. That I can only think of one thing in the summer, and that's not what I should be remembering a player for.
Just FYI, he has 4 assists in his Premier League career, and Caicedo's got half of that already.
Ooh,
this season. So yes, I think Caicedo will have more assists. Yeah,
you're right. In fact, he's bloody hell. That ain't good, is it?
Oh, numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Sadly, I mean, I think Enzo is a very good footballer. I just don't think he's caught up for the Premier League.
That's
exactly what I said a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think it's a bad thing to say. Like some players just aren't built for the Premier League.
I've seen some interesting. I saw some not nice posts to people that are friends of our show, and I did not like it. And it was, they didn't even make a nasty point about Enzo. They just made a statement. It wasn't an opinion, it was a statement, and everyone jumped on. And I'm like, I don't like that.
But Twitter's a horrible place.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
It is.
That's true. Right, to wrap up the show, end of show game, guess the player by the career path. If you're a new listener, here's how it works. I'm going to tell you this time. I'll describe a player's career path. Job's just got to figure it out. You know, we're using Wikipedia. There's other websites are available. I don't care. The first person to guess correctly takes the win. If you guess wrong, you're frozen out until everyone else had a go. So basically, be careful when you guess. 3 players as always. So, this player started his career at River Plate before moving to Parma. He then moved to Lazio before moving to Internazionale.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah, I know what I think I do, but I don't know if I want to risk saying it.
I think I'm gonna say it. I'm ready to say it.
Okay, Berth.
Is it Hernan Crespo?
It is Hernan Crespo because the next
That's who I thought too. Yeah,
were Chelsea, Milan on loan, Inter on loan, Internazionale permanently, Genoa, and finishing his career at Parma.
Well done, Berth. You took the risk there, and that's fair play.
I knew straight away. As soon as you said Parma, I thought this is Hernan Crespo.
So did I.
1-0 lead there. So, second player started his career at Barcelona C before moving.
Barcelona C?
Before I didn't know this was
okay.
Before moving to Barcelona B.
Wow, what a big move.
Wow.
Can you guess the next club?
Was it Barcelona?
It was Barcelona. It was indeed. So
wow.
He's played for all 3. And then he moved to Brescia.
That's fucking rogue.
Before moving to Roma. Before moving back to Brescia. He then moved to Al Ahly. Before finishing his career at Dorados.
And these are ex-Chelsea players, by the way.
No.
No, just players in general. That's why it's so hard. But
that's why I was confused. Yeah,
because this could be fucking anybody.
Well, he played for Barcelona from 1990 to 2001.
So he was there a long time, 11 years,
263 appearances,
and then went to Brescia.
Oh yes,
then to Roma, then back to Brescia.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I ask a question, or is it clues?
Yeah, why not? But Chris gets a question as well.
Then again, no. No.
You Spursed it. You've bottled that.
There's no who I was thinking of. No, definitely him.
If I told you, I'll give you a clue. He's a midfielder. Was a midfielder.
Definitely, I'm thinking.
That was it down.
Yeah.
Someone, I thought you would get this, if I'm honest. I really was sure you would get that. Yeah.
Nationality.
So it's a big, well-known player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just know I'm going to kick myself here.
Spanish.
Oh, narrows it down again. Spanish midfielder played for Barcelona.
Yeah, well, when
hold on. Could it be? I might go. I don't. I'm going to go for it.
Go on.
It's not Guardiola, is it?
It's Pep Guardiola.
Come on.
Do you know, I was just thinking the same thing there, but I thought, did he go? Why would he go to Brescia twice?
Yeah.
He liked Italian cuisine. I don't know. I do not know. I wonder if he was at he must have been at Brescia the same time that Roberto Baggio was.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Baggio was in the early noughties before he retired.
I'll tell you what the clue was there as well. Going to fucking Al Alley or whatever it was.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know he went there, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, they brought it up a couple of weeks ago.
That's what I thought. Right. Final player. This player started his career at CSKA Sofia before moving to Bayer Leverkusen 2. Before getting that move to Bayer Leverkusen. He then moved to Spurs. Before moving to Manchester United.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Is Berth about to get the easiest hat trick Go on. You said it first. Go on.
Is it Dimitar Berbatov?
Of course, who went on to play for Fulham, Monaco, Pauk, and Kerala Blasters. Great name. Love that team. I think David James played for them as well.
Great bloke.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did. Is it? Yeah, it is. What do they do? Is it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, David James was the first manager and marquee player of the club. What? He managed them? Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
How random is this? So David James started in goal for their 2014 Indian Super League final. The striker combo was Ian Hume and Michael Chopra. How random is that?
Wow.
Wow.
That's like a charity game.
Yeah. Also, this pod has been very David James heavy. So
yeah, it has a bit.
It has actually. And they were managed by Steve Coppell as well. Oh, this is proper charity
that's
game.
Soccer Aid, mate. That's Soccer Aid, that is.
Soccer Aid.
Oh, my word. On the other side was, Liverpool's former Liverpool defender, Josime, who was also captain. Oh, that is proper surreal, that. And Luis Garcia, a former Liverpool. Oh, my word, that is surreal. Okay.
That is mad.
Wow. Bloody hell. Right. Thank you for listening to the episode, listeners. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Friday for the Friday show because we're playing on Thursday. So, yeah. So, till then, that will be us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.